dust has settled. The battle was tough. After months, years, painting, gaming, silence. The patter of dice hitting tables has stopped. The war for Terra is over. Now, rain, winter. It's been tough. It's been emotional. We lost good men, but we found each other. Okay guys, so I'll start with what was originally the Force. Now, I was lucky enough to be given Ferrus Manus as my Primarch when just after I joined the campaign. Originally I was a captain, I was Gabriel Centaur, and then I was able to become Ferrus Manus when one of the other guys unfortunately had to drop out. And this was a couple of years ago, so it was before any of the Forge World stuff came out, so we were spending most of our time hand building them, and you've probably seen my Ferrus video, but this was the original Force. So out of the gates, see if that'll focus, that was my Centaur model, and in there with a couple of the, I think they're Max Mini shoulder pads. That was some of my original Honor Guard, and this here is Sharakin. Sorry, not Sharakin. Centaur. And then I was upgraded and I got Ferrus, and that was the Ferrus I built, which was a hell of a lot of fun and probably the most converted mini I've ever done, and I had a great time doing it. But as we all know through the Heresy, Ferrus is probably the first Primarch to die. So he died on Estevan, which we played, I think it was last year, as did Centaur. And then I was given some new squads, or a new kind of captain, if you like, leader. And that guy was Sabik Wayland, who I've built there. Now Sabik, as part of the deal with the campaign, came with his partner in crime, Sharakin, Nikona Sharakin, and that is him there coming down with his jetpack and his twin black Gladii. Now the guys made up some rules for these and they were really cool, and I had a lot of fun with them over the past few days. Wayland was able to take control of enemy vehicles, and we took control of Titans and tanks, and we destroyed enemy with them, so that was fun. Now this was my upgraded command squad that I finished the other day. So I have Centurions, I have Honor Guards, I have Legion Standard, and you will probably notice there a Salamander's Apothecary. So if you're up to date with the books, you will know that the reason why I've probably got that Salamander's Apothecary is because I ended up deciding to turn my entire army into the army from the books that was aboard the Sisypheum. I think that's the way you pronounce it. Now the Sisypheum, in case you don't know, was a battle cruiser that managed to escape Estevan, and it had a kind of mismatch of people aboard it, mostly Iron Hands. I think this says about 300 Iron Hands aboard it. And Sharakin was on there because Wayland dragged him off Estevan, and they became partners in crime. But they also saved a Salamander's Apothecary called Atesh Tarsa. So my Apothecary in my command squad is painted in Salamander's colours. He's not finished yet, but he looks pretty good for now. Now the other cool stuff about it is it was Cadmus Tyro who was the equerry to Captain Ulrach Brathen. Now Brathen was in a stasis tomb, kept alive by Atesh, and I will probably build that as an objective marker soon because I think that could be quite cool. I haven't built Tyro yet, maybe I will do eventually, maybe I'll just keep it as Sabik. A couple of other characters that I'd still like to build is Ironfather Thematica. He's just cracks me up in the stories. He strikes me as a bit of a Doc Brown, crazy kind of guy. So I've got a couple of bits I'm going to eventually get around to building. I just ran out of time for this battle. So I will take you through it. start over here. Couple of Hyperius defense platforms, which I got as soon as everybody started buying flyers, because I felt I needed some stuff to take them down. They've been great. I've still got a lot of details to do on them, but they're all battle damage and stuff. But fun little models, go together so quick, damage them really well. I'm going to go and do a little detail paint on them, and they'll be done. But they look pretty fun. Now, in the first trench, I've got a 20-man or a 10-man tactical squad with an apothecary. Now, that apothecary there was originally one of my first command squad, where I just converted everything because there just wasn't the depth of models that we've now got available to us. So he was originally my apothecary in a command squad. Quickly behind them, I've got some boarding marines. They were cool. First part of the game on the Friday, which was probably my favourite part of the game, because myself and my buddy Alan, who was one of my captains in the Iron Hands, we took on the entire Wordbearers Legion, and we had to hold them from getting onto the main table at Terra, and we did a pretty good job. I think probably we were more like 4,000 points outgunned by the time you've added the Lorgar and all the extra heavies they had and stuff like that, but we did pretty well. I think we held out till the final turn, and they eventually took us down to just below 25% of our force, which meant they broke the lines, but not before we inflicted pretty serious casualties on them. This was the first Dreadnought I did, because at the time the Contemptor wasn't out, so that's my Legion Dreadnought, which is ironclad, and I converted an Inferno cannon as a melter, because I just love the way that Inferno looks. And again, I think I've done a video of him previously. That was the first Iron Hands Contemptor I did, which was a relic, and he's stalking through the battlefield. He's as a mortis pattern. Another mortis pattern there with las cannons. That came in quite useful with all the flyers. Then at the back there, another 19-man tack squad with apothecary. This one's in Iron Hands colours, and that's one of the Forge World ones. This was a Vindicator that Brian gave me half. It was kind of built, but it didn't have any of the extra bits on it really. So I've put the extra shielding thing on the front, which I've forgotten its name now, and extra bits on the top on watch parts, and this big claw, servo claw. That was good fun to build. My first Spartan. That was a laugh. Treads went together completely differently on that they did on the other one. Let's go to the back here. That's 3 of my 4 Rhinos, and I had them when you had 10-man tack squads. So now they carry around all different types of squads. Then I've got my Land Raider. Is that a Proteus or a Phobos or something? That was one of the first things I did, and I've done a video of that previously, so that's good fun. I then built a Fellblade, and I love that model. Came out really well, really happy with it. And then this guy is one of the characters from the latest book, Massacre. I forget his name, Ortho something or other, but basically he goes in a tank and gives you, you hit on 2s. So, and Brian built that for me, which he just did when he was bored one day, and I added an Iron Hand shoulder pad and painted him up real quick, so a bit more to do on him. Cerberus at the back. These things are badass. If you've ever used one, we had some good fun with that over the past few days. This is wonky. So this is a Mark IIB Land Raider. We call it wonky because it was such a pain to build, and the Forge World stuff was so wonky that it took 2 of us to hold it together while it glued, and now it will not sit flat on a table. The whole chassis is twisted, which is kind of funny. But fair play to Forge World. I phoned them up, told them, and they sent me a new one. This is another Dreadnought, which I was going to use a Contempt as a Mortis, but I ended up quite liking the sort of pose he's got with his power fist, and I'm going to have light effect showing he's using his flamer, but he's got his carrots there ready to go. We've then got a Predator squadron. The first Predator I built was before these plasma ones came out, but it's all magnetized, so I'm going to get myself another plasma for that, and las cannons for the side, because If you've ever used them, they are the most deadly things you can imagine. They're so good. In here, I have a missile launcher heavy support team and the laser rapier destroyer there, which is pretty cool. And all of that is in my trench fortification thing that Mike and Erin and Alan and Tris and Sandy all helped to get painted. And it looks pretty cool. We're still going to do a bit more to it, but we teamed up and we did a good job. Let's see. Now here, this is a veteran squad, and again I've used characters. I've used characters in this from my original command squad, so you can see the guys with servo harnesses were all part of my original command squad, and the guy with the boarding shield. This guy here with the axe, I promoted him to the veterans because throughout the entire campaign I think he only died once and held his own against ridiculous odds. So I actually gave him additional honour wreaths, I forget what they're called at the moment, as he went through. And you know, he's been a badass. He just wouldn't die. So he got promoted to a vet squad when I eventually built them, and I ended up making them out of a couple of cool guys. There's my John Woo dude, a couple of melters in there. They're a badass squad. Then here, this is my destroyer squad. Unbelievable on the table. Just badasses. Those missile launchers with the rad missiles just kick ass. We then got Terminators, so Tartarus Terminators in this side, and then with Ferris I've got my Cataphracti, and they're led by, I've used the Praetor model, but he is just a sergeant in the squad. Lovely model. I need to finish all the base off a bit because it's not quite finished. Volkite squad, again I love these, they're really good fun. You know, a lot of people say, oh, they're not that tough, but you know what, they're actually pretty fun, and every shot that's, every wound that's unsaved, you get an extra go, and I've had a few of those take extra people out, and I really like the commander on this guy, the sergeant rather. He's got the Cromlech heavy bionic legs and the Cromlech bionic power sword, so I'm pretty cool, pretty chuffed with him. I've then got 20-man assault squad. They are actually a named squad in our rules, and the name of the guy I forget now, but basically you get a sergeant and then you get this named kind of leader within it, which is that dude there, and they've been really good as well, and I really enjoyed that. Learned how to do the sort of light effects on the jetpacks there. Another Spartan that needs weathering. It's my first Rhino, which went with a squad that I used to have. We named Squad Hassan, which ended up getting bled into a 20-man squad. That was good fun. Amongst the ruins of this board, you can probably see my Recon squad. They were good fun again. Really loved those models. And I purposely tried to make them blend in so people forgot they were there. And I built that board, and my missus painted it. It's the first thing she's ever painted in her life. And I taught her how to do it, and she did everything, the water effects. Got water effects there, like the rain's built up and mixed with oil. She's pretty much better than me, which is kind of disheartening. We've got the Achilles, I think it's Achilles. Needs a lot of weathering and more stuff doing to it, but I love those things. And then I've got 3 drop pods, which have my 3 contemptors, and these are all Iron Hands contemptors. That one there is about to smash a word bearer, which I didn't get a chance to paint. But these guys were really good fun to build and paint, and when you actually get into them, you see that they are really different contemptors. The whole back of them is completely different to any other contemptor. So I need to finish those. I'm going to put some glow effects in, and I'm going to go in and finish these bases. So like I said, I rushed a lot to get this done, tabletop standard, by my standard anyway. I want to go back and finish it and have it all to the standard that some of the Marines are. This here is my first Titan I ever painted. I loved it, although after 23 hours that entire side of paint peeled off, which was heartbreaking, but we got there in the end, and again Forge Will came through and replaced it. And then I have my Phalanx cohorts in there with one of the battle robots. I've got 4 more robots to paint. I just ran out of time. But they are fun models, really cool models. And then this is my Nightwing pattern, Storm Eagle, which was inspired by the story with Sharakin and Sabik Wayland when they shot Fulgrim in the face and then did a runner. So I converted that up a bit and gave it the extra wing pieces and gave it that fin on top, and yeah, that was fun. Enjoyed doing that. So I think that's pretty much everything. Lots of fun. Still loads I want to do to finish it off, and I'm going to add to it as well, and you'll see me adding to it because I'll do videos to show you. I've got a 10-man squad of the new Iron Hands Legion Marines that I'm going to do a vet squad with, or possibly 2 vet squads, just to have a close combat vet squad and a tank hunter vet squad. And then I'm going to add to, as I go through, as the Iron Hands stuff comes out, I'm going to keep adding bits. I'm going to build up my Mechanicum force because they're really cool, and they fit as fluff-wise to the Iron Hands. And this, for me, was a fluff army. You know, this is, as far as I'm concerned, Sabik Wayland and Sharakin and the Iron Hands aboard the Sisypheum. And it will always be that for me. Even though me and a few of our friends, we're going to start playing the actual books now. And obviously that means for some of them at least, I'll be able to use Ferrous. And I've got the new Ferrous model from Forge Build, which I'm going to take my time to build and paint. Well guys, over the next few months I'm going to be doing a lot of scenery, because we bought a lot of scenery to make our games more fun, and we haven't quite finished painting it all, and we've got city boards and some Zone Mortalis to paint, so I'm actually going to not paint Marines, probably for the rest of the year, because I can't stand painting them at the moment. But I am going to paint big stuff, and we're going to get the boards looking amazing. And we'll probably put a battle report up of a campaign that me and Mike and Erin and Sandy have been doing, which has been Blood Angels and Space Wolves versus Chaos and Orcs. And I think it's my nature, but I just want everything to look as good as possible on the last board. So prepare to see some videos of me showing you how I've painted scenery, or how we've all painted scenery, because the boys do come around and help me out, which is much appreciated. Alright, well look, I've gone on too long. I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you little videos as this gets together as well. Hope you're all good. I am going to try harder to do more stuff. Yeah, love to hear what you think. Please share it, comment, whatever you like. Hope you're all good. Peace!